Saira. Today's satsang is from a milestone talk based on a video of Maha Avatar Babaji. It is not sure whether the content is directly given by Babaji, because there are not many recorded talks or books of Babaji as such. Nevertheless, the content is so beautiful. It presents a completely different dimension. So we will get deeper into the content. The whole content has been divided into 3-4 parts with suitable headings. Request all participants to stay 100% focused on the entire Gospel of Babaji. Your undivided attention is a prerequisite for this particular satsang. First topic: future shapes our present. I quote Babaji. I want to ask you a question. What if past, present, and future were not separate like different pages in a book? What if they all coexisted within a vast field of consciousness? In the physical world, you believe that today creates tomorrow. But in the spiritual world, many times it is tomorrow that is subtly guiding today. That is why there are times in life when you suddenly feel an inexplicable urge. You want to move in a completely new direction. The version that has gone through the suffering you are experiencing is your present. However, the version that has overcome the lessons you are struggling with, the version that has found the peace you are seeking today, I call this version as your future self. Many people think the future does not exist yet. But from the perspective of enlightened consciousness, the future is simply a possibility vibrating at a different frequency. Like audio stations coexisting in space. You only hear the channel you are tuning to, which is your present. There is another channel, which is your future self, which exists on a vibrational plane that you have not fully reached yet. But sometimes, at special moments, the two timelines begin to touch. That is when you receive intuition. That is when you see recurring signs. First message from the future is: stop fighting yourself. This is the first thing your future self wants to say. Not about success, not about a sacred mission, not about special psychic abilities. The first thing they want to say is stop fighting yourself. Do you know where most of a person's energy is wasted? Not in work, not in life's challenges, but in the invisible battle that takes place every day within the mind. You fight your emotions, you fight your memories, you fight your mistakes, you fight the parts of yourself that you feel are not good enough. And what is the most painful thing? The whipper and the one being whipped are both you. When you are fighting with yourself, you yourself are punishing yourself. Many people pray for peace, but then every day they condemn themselves. They remember a mistake from years ago. They blame themselves for past decisions. They feel guilty for things they should have done better. They carry invisible judgments that no God has ever pronounced. Unquote. See, imagine how many things we have been fighting in our life within ourselves. Our failures, our defeats, our complex, our mistakes, our guilt for past, our loneliness, our mistakes in relationships due to which relationships broke, our mistakes in handling situations due to which we ended up in misery, our past avoidable desires, our past negative impressions, our past unkind attitude. The list is endless. In this ongoing fight till the end, we lose our peace. Whipper and the whipped, the punisher and the one punished due to this fighting attitude, both are we ourselves. We always want peace, but we are the one who are ruining our peace ourselves by fighting with ourselves throughout our life. World can never hurt us. It is we who hurt ourselves when we fight within. Second lesson from your future. Ego versus self. I quote Babaji. I want you to understand a profound truth. God does not see you with the eyes you use to see yourself. Humans look at mistakes. Divine love looks at essence. Humans look at failures. Light looks at potential. Humans look at what is lacking. The soul looks at what is blossoming. You often think that spiritual awakening is becoming a perfect version of yourself. No. Awakening is not about becoming perfect. Awakening is stopping demanding perfection from yourself. There is a huge difference. The ego always says, when I am good enough, I will love myself. The soul says, when I love myself, goodness will begin to blossom. Observe a tree. It does not hate its yellow leaves. It is not ashamed of winter. It simply allows each season to pass. And that very permission creates beauty. Humans do the opposite. You fight your winter. You fight your days of weakness. You fight your hurt. You fight your feelings that need to be heard. You fight even your tears that are trying to heal your heart. And then you wonder why you are exhausted. Your future self wants to say, what is hurting you is not the circumstances. It is your resistance to the circumstances. What is causing you suffering is not the emotions, it is the fear of emotions. What is exhausting you is not life, it is the constant battle within yourself. One day, looking back on this journey, you will realize something miraculous. That the parts you hated most about yourself are the very doors leading to your enlightenment. So today, instead of trying to fix yourself, try something else. Sit still. Third lesson your future is giving. Speak to your soul. Quote, place your hand on your heart and say to yourself, I allow myself to be myself in this moment. I don't need to be perfect to be loved. I don't need to become someone else to be accepted by God. I don't need to fight anymore. When those words truly touch your soul, something very strange happens. You will feel like you have just put down a burden you have carried for years. Because what you have been searching for has never been outside. It has always been there, hidden behind every defense, hidden behind every fear. And your future self is smiling because it knows that the moment you stop fighting yourself is the moment the true healing journey begins. Unquote. Just repeating a couple of lines from the most striking expression of Babaji in this lesson and leaving it to you to contemplate yourself. The lines are, I don't need to become someone else to be accepted by God. I don't need to fight anymore. When those words truly touch your soul, something very strange happens. You feel like you have just put down a burden you have carried for years. What you have been searching has never been outside. It has always been there, hiding behind every fear, and your future self is smiling. Fourth lesson your future has to give you. Living in present. What you are looking for is not in the future. I know this may seem hard to accept because almost the entire world is built on an invisible belief that someday I will be happy. Someday I'll be at peace. Someday I will be fulfilled. Someday I will be loved. Someday I will find myself. And then people spend their whole life chasing towards that someday. But that someday never comes because when tomorrow appears, it is called today. And the mind continues to push happiness a little further away. Do you realize the ego always lives in the future? The soul always lives in the present. The ego says one more thing is missing. The soul says you are complete. The ego says wait a little longer. The soul says no, it is now. My dear friend, if you put a diamond in the hand of a person who is asleep, they will still continue to dream that they are poor. That is the condition of most of humanity. They are sitting amidst their own treasure, but still wandering around searching. They seek love from the world while the source of endless love lies within their hearts. They seek validation while their true value needs no validation from anyone. They seek God while the breath that goes in and out is the footprint of God. Your future self is saying what you think you will find at the end of the road is actually waiting for you at the starting point itself. One day, you will wake up and realize that you have always pursued what you thought you have always pursued is never money, not fame, not success, not spiritual achievements. What you are truly seeking is a feeling of returning home. And that home has never been out there, away from you, for you to reach there. It has always been within you, right now, right this moment, as you are listening to these lines. Because the only place the soul can touch eternity is the present, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. When you are truly present, the gates of heaven begin to open. Don't wait until everything is perfect to live. Don't wait until everything is all right to find peace. Don't wait until you have everything to be grateful, because this moment is the life you have prayed for. Next title is Babaji's Assurance. And I quote Babaji. The frequency you are about to enter, I want to talk about what is happening behind the curtain that physical eyes cannot see. You are changing frequency. That is why you have been feeling different lately. You are no longer interested in things that once fascinated you. You no longer want to participate in meaningless arguments. You no longer want to prove yourself to the world. You are beginning to crave for stillness. You are craving authenticity. You are craving depth. This is not a sign that you are losing something. This is a sign you are growing spiritually. When your vibration changes, your world changes too. People on the same frequency will appear, and people who were not in the same frequency will be left out. New opportunities will arise, new insights will emerge. It is not because the universe favors you more, but because you have finally begun to see what has always existed. When you vibrate in love, you see opportunity. When you vibrate in faith, you see miracles. Your future self wants you to know that a new chapter is opening. Not with a thunder, not with a spectacular event, but with very subtle changes within the heart. Cherish the peace that is coming. Cherish your growing intuition. Cherish the moments you want to be alone to listen to your soul. For these are the first signs of a new frequency. A new world is not created externally. It is born within your consciousness, and you are entering that world. When you constantly feel grateful, your mind begins to see doors it previously ignored. Your future self is smiling and saying, "You have overcome a tougher period than you thought." You are stronger than you know. You are more supported than you feel. Resources are coming. Opportunities are coming. True wealth begins when you feel content within yourself. Because the richest person is not the one who possesses the most, but the one who no longer lives in fear of scarcity. And that is the state your future self is learning to live in every day. Your future wants you to know everything will be all right. Not because life is always easy, because eventually you will learn to trust in the sacred flow of life. Enlightened souls connect directly with the wisdom and guidance of the pure energy of Mahavatar Babaji. Unquote. Dear ones, beyond or further to the gospel of Babaji brought to you today, there is nothing to add further or nothing to explain further. Any further explanation may bring down the depth or subtlety or profundity of every word, every expression, each silence, each comma of Babaji. This talk is most unique, as this approach has never ever been taken in any talk from 2011 onwards. Our future conveying to us, our future speaking to us is something unimaginable, but we have heard it today. Don't know how many of you will realize how fortunate you are to have heard this one particular gospel of Babaji today. This talk requires 3-4 times of listening, surely with rapt attention. an undiluted focus, when there is nobody to disturb you at home or elsewhere, then only the depth will get inside a sincere sadhaka. Blessings and love.